Ay. Okay. Johnny?
Hello.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello. 116, is that where we are?
What?
17.
117?
No, 16.
Or 16? Oh, 8 went ahead.
It must have
Okay,
gone.
I'm leaving.
Uh,
I'm 16 it is.
Yeah, 16 today.
I was making a CM at the end of this thing.
Um, I don't know when it's supposed to be done with this.
Next week.
soon.
When?
Next week.
Next week? All right. We'll have to plan it, I guess.
Harold,
Yeah,
the Rebbe is only coming tomorrow morning, and not tonight, huh?
right. Yeah, I spoke with him. Yeah, just tomorrow morning. Where's he staying?
Staying by Shmuliano.
Oh, okay, got it.
You guys have a rabbit?
Huh, we have many.
Many
Yeah, the
Rebbe.
Mr. Rebbe's in town too.
Yeah, I see that. Hold on. Yeah.
Pick your Rebbe.
Who's who?
The Vishnitzer is here and the Sadiger.
Sadaker. Oh,
There's a playoff, having a playoff. And the winner goes to the Super Bowl against the Lubavitcher Rebbe.
beautiful. Uh,
No, where is he?
It's busy. Oh, there he is.
Kuf Ted Zion, 116. So we're talking about prior to the Mishkan that you could offer any kind of behema chaya or oath as long as it was kosher. This didn't make a difference was male or female. Tmiminu whether they had a mum or no mum. Domar tamus v'zachrus ba'behema vein tamus v'zachrus ba'oifos. The principle of being free of blemish, or male or female, is only by behema, not by a bird. By bird, birds, it makes no difference whether you're male or female, whether you're a balmum or not. And prior to the Mishkan, iskish behema la'ov. Behema was compared to birds. So just like birds, there's no criteria of male, femaleness, or valimum. So too, prior to the Mishkan, there was no inyan of those things by a behema. Now, but if an animal or a bird was missing a limb, that was verboten. That was not allowed to be brought. that an animal missing a limb, a ben Noach could not offer. Talmud Lomer mikol achai mikol basar. Amra Torah ave be'emar shechayin roshe evorin shelo. That you have to bring an animal, all of its limbs are living. If it's missing a limb, then it's possible. Maybe it's not excluding an animal missing a limb, but rather it excludes a treifa. Treifa is excluded. That the animal has to be able to father children. And this havamina here is that a treifa cannot father children. Fine. That works according to the opinion. Because there's a machlokas in the matter. That a treifa cannot be moiled. And therefore, milachayos zera, a treifa would not be excluded because even a treifa can have children. So the Gemara says there's another pasuk that excludes the treifa. Amar kra itach. You, Noach, should take the animals itach with you. B'doimin lacha. Animals that are similar to you, you're not a treifa, so the animals that you bring should not be a treifa. Maybe Noach was a treifa. So it says, no, Tamim Ksiv. It says, Eila told us Noach, each Tamim Tzadik Hayabedorasav. He was a Tamim. Maybe Tamim doesn't refer to his physical characteristics, but to his spiritual characteristics. So the Gemara says tzaddik siv. It already talks about his spirituality perfection because he says it's tzaddik. Tami must refer to physically. The Gemara says no. Maybe v'dilma tami b'drachav tzaddik b'masav. Maybe drachav means his midos, and masav means his actions. So maybe he needed to be tamim and tzaddik as well. So the Gemara rejects all this. If you're going to have a havamina, that Noach himself was a treifa, Noach, would Hashem say to Noach, the kavosech ayil, you should bring animals that are like you, shleimim lo ta'ayil, and not bring good animals? That makes no sense. Okay. So then we learn that that you cannot bring a treifa from itach. Then what does the pasuk that you have to bring animals in order to be able to have children, what do you need that for? Maybe Noach needed company, and the animals were just to keep him company. Afilu zakin, afilu saris. Even if the animal was old or castrate or sterile, kamash malan, that no, the whole purpose why Noach was told to bring the animals is to make sure that we have more animals after the mabul. Then the Mishnah said to Horin Avalotmein, only kosher animals. Now, the Torah has not been given in the time of Noach. There was no such thing as kosher, and the laws of kosher and non-kosher were given at the time of the Torah. Split hoof, true its cud, fins and scales. I mean, what? May also not tidin li toher. Noach was to bring animals into the teva that in the future would meet the criteria for being kosher. The question is, how did Noach know? He passed all the animals in front of the teva. If the teva allowed 7 pairs of animals, male and female, to come in, those were the kosher ones. If it only allowed 2, right, male and female of one type, they knew that that was not kosher. That means they came on their own. Noach didn't know which were kosher, which were not. And by seeing which the teva took in, which it didn't, they were told which was destined to be kosher. Amar Mar. Kol karvu oilos. Prior to the Mishkan, when they brought korbanos, it was all ola. More oilos in shlamim lo. Zvachim shlamim lashem parim. This is the by the Matan Torah, when they were told, go bring karbonos prior to Matan Torah, it says Shlomim. Elaema lakol karvu olos. So only the Bnei Noach you could bring oilers for them. But for Yisraelim, they could bring Shlomim by the time of Matan Torah. Oilers in, Shlomim lo. But for Bnei Noach, only oilers, not Shlomim. Kiman domer lo korvu Shlomim Bnei Noach. Who is the Tana that says that the Bnei Noach did not offer Shlomim? The Itmar. Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Yossi, Bar Chanina, Chad Amar, Karvu Shlomim Bnei Noach. This Mandomer held that Bnei Noach did offer Shlomim. The Chad Amar loy Karvu, only oilers. My time at the Mandomer Karvu Shlomim Bnei Noach. Where is the source for the person who says that the Bnei Noach brought Shlomim? It goes all the way back to see Vehevel Hevi Gamhu Mibchoros Sono Umechel Behen. Hevel brought a korban from the bechor of his sheep and from their fats. What type of korban only the is put on the mizbech, but not the rest of it? It's heavy Yomi Zevachim, right? We eat the meat of a shlomim. Only the fats, the chaylev, goes on to the mizbech. So Hevel was a ben Noach, and you see he offered shlomim. My time at the Mandomer loy korvu. The chsiv, it says in Shir Hashirim, Uri tzafon uboi teman. Wake up, you from the north. Wake up. Tisar umar shamaseh betzafon. You people who are the Bnei Noach, you can only offer olos. Olos are offered in the north of the Beis Hamikdash, only there. V'tova umar shamaseh betzafon v'dar. And he's inviting Klal Yisrael to come to the Mashiach, the nation whose actions are both north and south, meaning Olos and Shlom. So the Gemara says, Umar Nami Haksivu Mechalveyan, the ones who say that they did not bring Shlomim, how does he answer the pasuk that Chalev was offered? It doesn't mean the Chalev, Mishmaneim, that means he brought it from the best of his sheep. Umar Nami Haksiv Uri Tzafon. What is the Mandomer who say that the Bnei Noach did not bring Shlomim? B'kibbutz Galus, it has nothing to do with Korbanos. It has to do with bringing in all the Jewish people from around the world in Eretz Yisrael. I've Haksiv Vayomer Moshe. Moshe in his dialogue with Paro in Mitzrayim says, Gam atati ten b'yadeinu zvachim v'olot. Vasinu Hashem Elokeinu. Olos are olos, zvachim are shlomim. So the Gemara says zvachim lachila. Zvachim means shchita. That means we're going to shecht animals to eat. The olos lakrav. I vaksiv vaikach Yitro Chosein Moshe ola uzvachim. When Yitro came, he brought ola and zvachim, which is shlomim. The Gemara says that's not a problem. Lachar matan Torah d'chsiv. Because according to this opinion, Yisro came after Matan Torah. At that point, they were not Bnei Noach anymore, and they could offer both. Hanich l'mando amar Yisro achar Matan Torah. That's good according to the opinion that says Yisro came after Matan Torah. Elamando amar Yisro koydem Matan Torah, that Yisro came before Matan Torah. What is he talking about? Shlomim. Michael Meimar. So the Itmar b'nei Rav Chiya v'Rab Yeshua ben Levi, Chadam Yisro kodem Matan Torah, Chadam Yisro achar Matan Torah. Machlok is when Yisro came. L'mandam Yisro kodem Matan Torah, K'sover Shlomim ikrivu b'nei Noach. The one that says that Yisro came before Matan Torah held that even b'nei Noach could offer Shlomim. So this machlokes, whether Yisro came before or after, is actually machlokes Tanoi. Kitanoi. Vayishma Yitro Kohen Midyan. Yisro heard and he came. Mashmor Shama Uba. What did he hear where he came and he converted to Yiddishkeit? Rabbi Yeshua says, Mechamas Amalek Shama. Sharei Ksiv B'tzido, right before it says, Vaychalosh Yoshua Samalek V'Samol Fichare. Rabbi Lazar Madoyo Matan Torah Shama Uba. He heard about Matan Torah, Shekinishnin the Torah Yisrael, Hayakolo Olech Misof Olam Atzofo. The sound of Matan Torah went around the whole world. V'chol Oivdei Kachov Machzosan Ra'od Bevleim. They were all fearful. And in their palaces, they said Shira, Vamr Shira, Shenamar, Uvehecholo Kulo Merkavo. This is referring to the Goyish kings. Now, Niskapsu Kulo Meitzel Bilam Arasha. The Goyish kings gathered around Bilam. And they heard this noise. And they asked Bilam, Ma Kol Ha'aman Asher Shema, what's this noise? Shema Mabul Baalam, is this a flood? Shenamar, Hashem la Mabul Yoshev, Hashem will return to the Mabul, Amr Lahem, no. Vayeshev Hashem Melech Lo'ilam. Hashem is the eternal king. Kvar Nishba Kadosh Baruch Hu she'enu mevi Mabul Lo'ilam. He's already took a note that he's not going to bring him up. Amr Lo, yeah. Mabul Shomayim Einu Movi. He won't bring water. Of a Mabul Shalesh, maybe he'll bring fire. Shenamar, Ki Bo'esh Hashem Nishbat. He will judge the world with fire. Amr Lahen, He's taken a shvua that he's not going to destroy all of mankind. So they said, what is this noise? Hashem had a treasure in his treasure store. That was 974 generations prior to the creation of the world. Now he's giving it to the Jewish people. But this is according to Manda Omar that what did Yisro here heard? He heard about giving of the Torah. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Kriyas Yav Shub Shama Uba. You heard about Kriyas Yav Shnemar? Vayi Bishmo Kol Malachei Emori. In Yoshua, it says that the Amorite kings heard and they became frightened. Afrachav Azoyna Arma L'Shluchi Yoshua, when the spies that Yoshua sent came to Rachav the Zona, she said to them, Ki Shomanu is Asher Ovish Hashem Esmei Yamsuf. We had heard about the splitting of the sea. When it says that the Vayikishmo Kamalche Amori, it says they lost the fighting power. But that Rachav said that no person has it, anybody. So they lost their ability to have an erection because they were so afraid. How did Rachav know this? Well, Rachav was a Zonah, there was no officer or rular who didn't have relations with Rachav. She was 10 years old when Klal Yisrael left Mitzrayim. She committed znus for the 40 years. At the age of 50, Nizgaira, she became Jewish. And she became a Baal Tshuva. Amra, because Rachav hid the shluchim in the Pishtan that the Yericho people wouldn't find them. They climbed up a chevel to get to her house. And they came through the window. So, Omer Mar. The Mishnah said, that non-Jews today can also offer korbanos on a bama. Menanimili, the Tan Rabbana, Daber Bnei Yisrael, and don't shecht b'chutz. Bnei Yisrael mitzvah al shkutei chutz. Ve'enav tikachov mitzvah al shkutei chutz. Non-Jews are not prohibited to shecht outside the Beis Hamikdash. Leficha kol echad v'echad boina lo bama latzmo. Each person can build a private bama. U'makar v'ela kol mashe can offer whatever he wants. Amrav Yaakov Baracha Amrav Asi. Asur l'sayim v'lasor shlichusa. You can't help them or be their shaliach in building a bama. Amar Rabbah u'leirinu shori, but to teach them how to do it, you can. Ki hadi Ifrei Hurmuz. Ifra Hormuz was Imei de Shvur Malka, the mother of the Persian king Shvur Malka. Shadra Korbana Larava. The mother sent a korban via Shalcha Lei. She wanted to offer the korban to Hashem. Amr Lahula Rav Safra Rav Acha Bahuna. Rav said to Rav Safra and Rav Acha, Zilu v'dabitre ulmi guloi. Go find two young boys, and go find where the ocean has piled up some mud and build, and therefore it hadn't been used for anything else. And use it to build a mizbech. Do not use wood that had been used for something else. It should be new. Bring fire from a place that, like a new place that had not produced fire yet. And be makrav on behalf of Ifra Urmas. Now, why should they use new wood? Amalei Abaya. Keman Krab Elazar ben Shimon Detanya. Elazar ben Shimon Mami's Bech Leishtamish Bohed Yot. You have to use a mizbech that's brand new. Nobody else has used it before. You have to use wood that nobody's used before. That by a bama you don't have to use new wood. Titania. David HaMelech bought the place of the Beis Hamikdash from Arnan HaYevusi, and he bought it with golden shkalim weighing 600. Uksi vayiken David, yiken from the Lashon Kinyan. Vayiken David es hagorm es haboker bekeser shkalim chamishim, which says silver 50 shekel. Haketzad. Goyva mikol sheva v'sheva chamishim. 12 times 50 is 600. So he collected a tax of 50 shkalim from each shevet. Shein sheshbos. Rabbi Yomer Mishum Abba Yosef ben Dustoy. Bokar ve'etzim mokum mizbech benun. The animals, the wood, and the ground where the mizbech would go for, that was purchased for 50 shekel. Kolabayis kulo b'sheshmos. Now, the Beis HaMikdash was a huge area. That whole area was bought for 600 shekel. Only the Bokar and the Eitzim was benun. He told David, take what you want. Here's the animals, the cattle for Ola, and the morgim is like a wooden tool, and the other tools that were used to help take care of the boat, you could use that for the wood for your mizbeach. The kasha, I thought you're supposed to use wood that hasn't been used before. These had never been used before. My morigim, Amr Ula, mita shel turbel. My mita shel turbel. Amabaya, these are the course of the Daisham Dishoy. This was a tool with that it was like threshing straw. On Rabbi Mikra, Hine samtich lemorag charutz chadash bal pithios. So a morag is to grind up mountains. Makri Rav Librei, Baram Lekre Adodi. Rav read psukim to his son, and he showed a contradiction. Ksiv, Vayitein David la Arnon. David gave Arnon. Ksiv Vayikein David. Then it says, David bought Hakei Mikol Shev Chamishim. First he had to collect 50 shekel from each shevet, then Sheish said he had to pay. Vakati Kashna that there's still a stira. Hasam Ketzef Achazav. One pasuk said silver, the other said gold. Elachi Kamer. Goiva Kesef Mishkol Sheshmazav. He collected silver. The weight of silver had to be worth 50 shekel of gold. The total amount was worth 600 shekels of gold. Then the Mishnah said, Kochim Kalim Nachal B'chol Machne Yisrael. Kochim Kalim could be eaten anywhere in Machne Yisrael. On Ravuna, B'chol Makomas Yisrael. Anytime, anywhere a Jew was. Even if he left the Machane, that's considered Machne Yisrael. Aval Machne Lo Havi. Based on Ravuna, there was no specific Machanes, wherever the Jews were. Esver of Nach Ravuna, Machnos B'mivir Lo Havi. What do you mean there was no Machane? Batanya. Kashem Shemachne B'midbar. Just like there were Machnos in the Midbar. Kach Machne B'Yushalayim. B'Yushalayim L'Harabayis Machne Yisrael. From the city to Harabayis, the walls of Harabayis, that was considered Machne Yisrael. Now Harabayis L'Shar Nikanor Machne Leviyah. From the Harabayis walls to the gate of Nikanor, which entered into the Azor, that was called Machne Leviyah. Mikan Ve'elech, anything within the Azor was Machne Shechina. Machne Shechina v'dhein hein kloim shebamidbar. This was synonymous with when we say anything b'fnim HaKloim in the Mishkan. So how do we understand Ravuna? E'ema b'chol makom Machne Yisrael. The Kochim Kalim could be eaten anywhere which Machne Yisrael was encamped. Even though the Machne moved. Pshita, maybe once the camp moves, it's considered Yotzin and the Korban is puzzle. Kamash Malon didn't know. Maybe it is bad. Amakra. Vinasa oil moed, aval pishanata oil moedu. Even though it was moved and it traveled and went all sorts of places and it was taken apart, put up again, it's all considered oil moed. Tanya. Rav Shimon Yochai Omer. Od acheres haisa. V'chil Ezras Nashim. There's another machne, and that was the Ezras Nashim. V'layu oinshin alea. A Tvul Yom is not allowed to go there, but if he went there, they didn't give him an oinish because it was all rabbinic. In Shiloh, there were not 3 machnos, 2 machnos. Now, Heminai lo hava. Amrav mistaber machno leviavi. It had to be a machno levia. The sakadayich machno levia lo havi. Nimtzu zavid memes meshalchun zu machna achas. So this will go with technical detail, which we'll discuss tomorrow. So tomorrow, everyone should have a good Shabbos. Tomorrow, we will learn the daf at 7:00, and Sefer Esther will learn at 8:00.
Okay. Nice.
Good.
I got it. Nice. I got it tonight.
Yeah.
Good. I got it.
It's nice.
Okay.
Oh, man.